my book for breaking bad, unhelpful synapse connections that no longer serve their purpose. Neuroplasticity is all about building new brain synapses, rewiring your brain. The problem is, oftentimes, what we're trying to rewire is in our subconscious and we can't even identify it. So we need a way to figure out how to get to the subconscious so we can build new brain synapses. Rewire our brain. Welcome to Tips, Techniques, and Tidbits on your spiritual journey. Sometimes we just react to a situation. We don't really know why. There's something that triggers us and we're not sure what caused it. Oftentimes there's a limiting belief that is embedded deep within our subconscious that we can't even identify. We don't understand what is causing it, but something triggers us and we just react in a way that is often not appropriate, and sometimes we feel quite bad about it after. How are we able to change this behavior, this behavior that we want to work on, that we know we should change, that's not the way we want to be? How do we change it, short of white knuckling it, because we don't really understand even what the cause is? Enter my little book of Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad Synapses. Rewiring your brain to change behaviors into your desired outcome. This is how this works. So whenever you carry this book with you every day, wherever you go, carry a little book with you. This happens to be a moleskin. These are great books because they travel well under a lot of abuse. They can sit in a purse or a bag for a long time and they stand up to abuse. So this is a little moleskin that I carry around with me. And whenever I am triggered by something and I know it's a behavior that I don't want, I take out my book and I write down that behavior. I write it down immediately when it happens, and I know that it's happened and I know I don't like it and I want to change it. What does this do? When you write it down immediately, it gives your brain, subconscious brain, an opportunity to identify the offending synapses. Those little dendrites that are firing, it says, oh, those are the ones you don't like? Okay. If you keep doing that enough times, eventually your brain will be able to rewire around that. In order to change this behavior that you want to change, your brain has to identify the offending synapses. So eventually when the trigger comes along and your body and your subconscious starts to react to the trigger, it's going to say, no, we're going to go around this. Your body becomes aware subconsciously. If you do this enough, if you write this down, eventually your subconscious becomes aware that this is something that you don't want to do. And before it even creates a reaction in you, your mind says, stop. We're not going to go this way. We're going to go around. We're going to build another path. We're going to rewire your brain for another behavior. So it gives you a chance to stop, stand back, think about the situation, think about how you want to approach it. Think about how you want to behave, how you want to respond in a certain situation. And this is going to allow you to rewire this. Now I'm going to tell you something personal about me. The reason I got this book is because I have one habit that I wanted to try to break, one event that triggers me to a point that I don't like it, and I always feel really guilty about it after I react in a very negative way. In India, they don't quite understand this idea of standing in line or in a queue. I'm not sure why, but this is not something that is really practiced here in India. They don't practice standing in line, standing in queues that much. So I'll be in line at the ATM, or I'll be in line at the bank or at the post office, and people will just come in and just jump right in front of you, reach right in front of you. You know, they want to go first, they want to go before you. This triggers my dark side. and I react quite badly. I don't want to be pushed around. I want to be able to state my case, but I also understand that there are other circumstances. I'm not sure, what's going on. I'm assuming the worst of this person, but maybe I shouldn't. So I need to be able to step back and just pause for a minute and gather my thoughts and decide how I want to respond, rather than a knee-jerk reaction, which I feel bad about afterwards. So this is why I carry this book around. For when I'm in line and somebody cuts in front of me, this gives me an opportunity to really write that down and think about it. In fact, since I've been carrying this book, I don't even have this problem anymore, just knowing that I'm carrying this book. But it does make it so that I'm aware and I'm going to respond appropriately and not overreact. Seneca, the Roman philosopher, said, whenever something makes you feel bad, write it down, and you shouldn't have behaved this way. So even Seneca, back 2,000 years ago, understood the power of neuroplasticity and rewiring your brain by calling attention to the behavior that you want to change. This is also a fundamental principle in neuro-linguistic programming. And if you want to know more about how I use this book and how you can use this to your advantage as well to change habits that you want to, go ahead and on the link below you can click over to the blog post where I talk a little bit more about this. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave comments below and subscribe, and we'll see you next Friday. Thank you. Namaste.